Happy New Year! Wow, good riddance 2020, and we're not going to talk about that. We're going to leave that in the dust, and we're going to move forward with 2021, and we're pretty excited. Rob is going to go first this time. First of all, I should introduce myself. I'm Ginny of Ginny's Gin, and welcome to our live stream. Rob, my husband, and I, along with our dearest friends Jeff and Amy Close, we founded Ginny's Gin a few years ago. It is winter now, so we've got lots of citrus, and I'm going to be dealing with that with my couple of cocktails, and I've got some fun stories for you as well. In fact, I'm really excited for the month of January. But first of all, Rob is going to join us. He has an Asian-inspired cocktail, and we have kaffir limes in the garden, and we also, what else? Lemongrass. So we have lemongrass actually as one of the botanicals in the gin. So Rob is going to join me now, and he's going to take it away with an Asian-inspired cocktail, and then I will be back with a couple of Ginny-inspired cocktails. So take it away, Rob.
Okay, hi everybody. I'm going to make a quick drink, and I've been playing around. I don't know, those of you who know me know I like Asian food, and Thai food is one of my favorites, and the trinity of Thai flavors for things like tom yum soup, which this is kind of fashioned after, kaffir lime leaves. They kind of have a cool shape, and they have a really great lime aroma. And then this is one chopped up, the tender part of one lemongrass from our garden. And then galanga root, the third one. And these I have already sliced a couple of slices off. I picked this when it was fresh in the store and then froze it. Same thing with our lemongrass from the garden. We kind of harvest it once a year. It freezes really, really well. So we're just going to muddle those three ingredients with some gin and some lime juice. And then I made a simple syrup out of palm sugar. And palm sugar, you can buy them, they're like little hard disc is the way I get them. I think you could also get it in a crumble, but I like the little disc. And it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So we are going to take, I've got the 3 slices of galanga root, which is just a little bit because it's very perfumey. You can use ginger instead, but this is different. I like both. 3 slices of that, the chopped up tender part of 1 stalk of lemongrass, and 2 kaffir lime leaves. And then we're going to chuck the lime juice in there, which is going to be 1 ounce. So 2 ounces of gin, 1 ounce of lime juice, kind of like a gimlet, but with these 3 really cool trinity of Thai flavors. I guess we could measure it. I mean, it's going to be a whole lime, so yeah, I like that. There's the first half of the lime, and here's the other half. It's a 1 ounce lime. There we go. Maybe a hair more, which is great. So we got that and that. And then I guess we could also go ahead and get our plum syrup in there, so 3/4 of an ounce. So right there, and I really, I made a couple with coconut milk this week, and they tasted amazing. But to make the coconut milk taste good, you have to put it's just too sweet of a drink for me. And they're a little heavy. And so I've kind of gone in this direction. I've done this with lemon and lime. I like both. So now we've got everything in except the gin. We're just going to give it a really good muddle. Oh, you don't have to do this. One of the recipes I found that did something very similar used Grand Marnier in addition to the palm syrup, and I just thought that was just going to be too heavy. So I have 1 little piece of mandarin orange that I'm going to muddle in there along with all the other fun stuff just to give it some interest. We're just going to muddle the heck out of it. You do got to do a good job muddling this because the galanga root is a little firmer than ginger, and you got to get it, mush it up kind of. Okay, so there's that. And then we're going to go with our Ginny's Gin, of course.
Yeah. Say hi to Ralph.
Hi, Ralph. Is it Cousin Ralph or Uncle Ralph?
Oh, I don't know.
Junior or senior? Okay, so 2 ounces of gin. So, oh, and what I was supposed to do it in the very beginning, but I'm going to catch up now, is I'm going to do a rim of half the glass with lime juice. And then I've taken red chili peppers, like crushed red pepper, like Italians would use, and mixed it 50-50 with sea salt and just buzzed it for a second in a like coffee grinder. And so we're just gonna pick that up on half of the rim. Leave a little spot for drinking out of if you don't want that part. And now everything is in the pool, and we're gonna put a large round ice cube. So this is Tom Yum, Ginny's Tom Yum gin on a rock.
Okay.
And now we're gonna give a couple of ice cubes in there for shaking. And we definitely need to double strain this one. So there's that. We got the double strainer going to catch all the schmutz.
Pretty, nice colour. I think all our drinks are that colour today. Beautiful.
Here's the back end of your muddler.
Beautiful.
And then for a garnish, I've taken a little skewer. Oh, do you have my frozen lemongrass piece? It's in the Pilsner glass on the door. Okay. So I've got a kaffir lime leaf on there. I've got a chili pepper on there. I'm just gonna like drop those little guys right there because it looks super cool. And then I've cut a piece of lemongrass and kept it frozen so it acts like kind of like an ice cube. And that's gonna go in right there. Beautiful. So this is our Tom Yum gin.
Awesome.
Cheers everybody for that. Now it's a lovely Ginny.
Okay, thank you, sweetie. That's a really great cocktail. It'll be just fun to drink.
Sometimes it appears like I'm drinking the drink before I'm supposed to, but it's not really true.
Yeah, right. I see you drinking that drink. I'm gonna get this out of the way if I may.
Oh boy, yum. Good call.
Awesome. Okay, thank you, Rob. Very cool. So I'm very excited because it is winter and citrus comes into its own in the northern hemisphere here in California. And if you're walking or driving around the neighborhood, everybody's yards, you know, if they have a citrus tree, it's, you know, whether it's grapefruits or Meyer lemons or mandarins, tangerines. And so we've been doing lots of very fun stuff. We've been very lucky to be gifted a bunch of stuff. So I think we have like 4 or 5 weeks worth of bounty from our friends for the next, you know, several live streams. So super excited about that. Okay, I didn't know which one I wanted to do first because I have great stories about both of these drinks. But I decided upon the Ginny Ginny 75 that I'm going to do first. It's very celebratory. It is New Year's, obviously, and God knows we're celebrating the end of 2020. So the first one I'm going to do, it's called Ginny Ginny's 75. And the reason for this is, way back in May, I got an email from a gentleman in Marin. And the email said, and I'm going to read it. I'll leave out the names to protect the innocent. But so, hello Ginny, my name, blah, blah, blah. So it turns out that his wife is called Virginia, but nobody ever called her that except for her mother when she was in trouble. And of course, the same was true for me as well, that nobody ever calls me Virginia unless I'm in trouble. So they were in Healdsburg, and they had asked for where they should eat, whether it was lunch or dinner, I'm not sure. Well, they went for lunch, I'm sorry. So shout out to Brava's Tapas in Healdsburg because they actually have Ginny's Gin on their cocktail menu as one of their gin tonics. So she loved the fact that it was made with Ginny's Gin, and her name is Ginny as well. So of course they ordered it, they had a lovely lunch and what have you. And so in the email he says it's going to be a significant birthday for her in December. So he was wondering if possibly I could sign a bottle and we could meet and what have you. And I think at the end of this he says, you know, we have time to organise this and hopefully coronavirus will be a distant memory by then. Well, this was in May, and of course it isn't, so I'm sorry for that. But I did obviously reach out to the gentleman, and I arranged to meet on Ginny's birthday, or just before Ginny's birthday, with the gifted bottle of Ginny's Gin signed, and obviously told them about some recipes and what have you. And she's been a long time gin lover, as I have as well. and we both laughed about the fact that we've never really been called Virginia, other than, you know, in legal documents. So in return, it was very sweet. They actually gifted us some limoncello, and so obviously, you know, when the great time to make limoncello is when citrus is in season, and then it can last you all the way through the year, obviously. So I thought it would be rather nice if I would make a cocktail using Ginny's gin and Ginny's limoncello. And if anybody wants to know the recipe for her limoncello, I can post that, or we can talk about that another time. And as many of you probably know, limoncello is the second most famous liqueur from Italy after Campari. It's actually made in southern Italy, and it's just really great flavors, obviously the lemon and, you know, the sugar in there as well. So so the first cocktail I'm going to make, as I say, is a Ginny and Ginny's 75. So I'm going to use, you know, the flavor of lemons go really well with orange as well. So this particular recipe calls for me to muddle half a clementine, satsuma, whatever you want to call those. So let me go ahead and muddle that first. And there we go. And then I'm going to add 2 ounces of Ginny's gin. There it is. There we go. You know, I don't know if you know this, but one of the botanicals in Ginny's gin is actually lemon peel. So there's the 2 ounces of gin. There we go. And then I'm going to do half an ounce of Ginny's limoncello.
The essential oils and the lemon peel come out during the distillation.
Yes, indeed. They do. What did I say? Half an ounce of Ginny's limoncello. There we go. So 2 1/2. And then we're going to use fresh Meyer lemon. And these are from a friend's, Stacey and Nobby Clark. They have a beautiful bush. They're very abundant right now, so we get our Meyer lemons from them. So thank you, Clark family. And I'm going to do one, let's see here, there's the, okay, lemon squeezer.
Yeah, we get our lasagna there too.
Yes, yes, thank you for the lasagna. So 3/4 of an ounce of the fresh Meyer lemon. And that's a nice juicy lemon. There's 3/4. There we go. In there. And then I made some honey syrup. Lemon goes really beautifully with honey, and I think in the wintertime it sort of just feels good, honey and lemon together, and obviously gin. So 1-to-1 ratio, you know, 1 tablespoon or 1 cup of honey to 1 cup of hot water.
1 gallon.
Mm-hmm. I didn't make too much this time, but you can even make a hot toddy too with that kind of thing, right? Okay, so I'm going to do half an ounce of the honey syrup. There we go. And you know, you can adjust to your taste, obviously. If you want to make it sweeter or less sweet, you can do that. There's the honey syrup. Whoops. Okay, so we're going to take this, I'm going to put some ice in there, we're going to shake it up vigorously. And there it is.
Wow.
Let's put 1 more in. Alright, and you know, Rob always uses shakers, they come straight out of the freezer and everything, but if you don't have shakers at home, that's okay, you can just use a mason jar. It works really well. Or even a sauce jar that, you know, you washed, and so don't worry if you don't have all the equipment.
Well, the metal gets cold faster.
But yeah, so absolutely the metal, it gets cold, it stays cold, you know, all that fun stuff. But I'm not saying that you have to go out and buy, you know, special things at all. But, you know, maybe for next Christmas you can get some metal shakers. Alright, so shake vigorously. There we go. Bit on. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to strain this. I think I'm going to double strain it too, actually, because there's a little bit of muddling of that goes on with the clementine or the mandarin, whatever you want to call it. And again, you know, you should put your glassware in the freezer as well, so when you take it out, it's nice and frosty, keeps the cocktail cold as well. All right, so here's the base of the 75, and then we're going to top it up with some bubbles. And in this case, I have a local producer here in Sonoma County. They're just down the road in Kenwood, and it's Chateau St. Jean. And back in the day when you could actually sit on the lawn and watch movies and drink there, that's one of the things that they offer. So let's hope for that this summer, that we can start getting back to some of those fun things that we like to do. So we'll top it up. And this is, you don't have to do a rosé. I thought it looked kind of pretty. I like the color with the rosé. You could just use, you know, a regular champagne. And then the thing that is always called for with the French 75 is a nice long twist of lemon. And so, you know, you take one of these, what do you call these things? It's a,
You know,
it's a zester. So yes, it's the little part does the zesting, and then this, you sort of run it around. And I'm always a bit nervous about doing this on camera because it depends on the lemon, how easy it is to actually make a nice long twist out of it. But I did rather well, and it was funny because the first one didn't work out so well, it's not so big. But the second one I did, and I was thinking about my father because he used to take an apple and he would peel it, and he would peel the entire apple, and it would have this.
My grandfather too.
Isn't it funny?
With a little pocket knife he had.
And I enjoyed the peel. It's super cute, and it made me think of my father. And I did so well with my long twist that I think I was channeling my father clearly. So here it is, great twist of lemon there, and you know you can buy these.
That looks like New Year's.
It does, yes. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I mean, you can drink this bloody thing any day of the week if you like. But so there's the Ginny and Ginny's French 75, or just Ginny and Ginny 75. And then the next one.
I just want to jump in for a half a sec because
Yes.
I forgot to give credit for so the drink is kind of a combination of different drinks I've seen. And I just made it the way that we would like it.
Mm-hmm.
But the garnish from this came from an article in liquor.com, and they garnished it exactly like this, and I just thought it was so cool I copied it. So giving them credit, cheers to them.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to give credit to Food and Wine magazine that I sort of tweaked this recipe from one of their recipes as well. So Food and Wine's really cool too. Okay, so the next one, we've already got 2 Ginnys. I want to bring in the next Ginny. So you're not going to believe this. So we're all British. We're all called Ginny. So the third Ginny actually is spelled Gini. So she lives in the Napa Valley. I live here in Sonoma County. And the other Ginny lives in Marin County. So we're in this, you know, the tri-county, and we're all British Ginnys. So it's pretty funny. So I'm going to call this cocktail, and it's super simple, and it's really just 3 ingredients from each of us. So I'm going to do that next. Okay, so we're going to start with, and then, so Ginny is my dear hiking buddy, Michael Savage. I've talked about him before. I've hiked with him for 25 years now. And that's his wife, and they live in Calistoga. They have a place in Tiburon as well, but wherever they are, they always make sure that they have a bottle of gin, Ginny's gin, at the house. So the first thing I'm going to put here is 2 ounces of, actually no, I'm going to put 3 ounces of Ginny's gin in. Why not? It is New Year's Day after all, and we need to celebrate. So 2 plus 1. So this is sort of, you know, it's kind of boozy, but I want to make sure that it fills up the entire glass. That's what it's really all about. So 2 ounces of Ginny's gin. Then Ginny's limoncello. I am going to take 3/4 of an ounce of Ginny's limoncello. Beautiful presentation too, by the way. I love this bottle, Ginny. Very cool. We're really enjoying it. So 3/4 of an ounce of Ginny's limoncello. There it is. Okay. And then Ginny number 3, I shouldn't call it Ginny number 3, she gifted, and it was super sweet, she put cotton candy on it, but they have, as you walk up to their front door, they have a couple of pots. On this one side is this pot, which I'm sure has come from China or somewhere, ancient, but it has this grapefruit tree that's not terribly big, but every year it evidently produces this one huge grapefruit. And I saw this grapefruit. I was like, wow, it's absolutely massive. And so she gifted it to me for Christmas, which was super sweet. But it's really, I mean, it was this big. And so there's the rice. So you've seen these things before. You know, you have the green one, obviously, for limes, for squeezing limes. And then you have the yellow one for squeezing lemons, and then you have the grapefruit, you know, the orange one for oranges or grapefruit, depending on, you know. But of course, none of these are going to work with this grapefruit that was this big. So I had to cut it up, and it was a bit awkward. So I just decided to measure out the amount of grapefruit juice. I already squeezed it and measured it out and left it in the fridge. I did it about, you know, half an hour ago. Always make sure that your fruits are freshly squeezed. They are much better that way. So here's the grapefruit juice, and I think what did I do? 1 1/4 ounce of grapefruit juice. So that's in there as well. So 3 ingredients: Ginny's gin, Ginny's limoncello, and Ginny's grapefruit juice. So we're just going to put some ice in there, shake it up, and that's it. So very easy to make, super simple. I mean, you can buy the limoncello obviously, but it's kind of nice when somebody gifts you it. We're all about that. And by the way, you know, if there's anybody that has some kind of fruit in their garden that you think we would enjoy making a cocktail with, let me know. Just reach out to us and say, hey, come and pick some of these, and we'll figure out what we can do with it.
If anybody has any Seville oranges.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And then what's the name of the little limes that turn orange from the Philippines? They're those two.
Yes. Look that. Yeah. Didn't you write that down?
It's another type of sour orange.
Yeah. So anything you have is great, and I'll mention that in a sec. Okay. So we're just shaking this up, super nice and cold. Great colour. The lemon and the grapefruit. And lemon and grapefruit go really well together too. So. All right. And obviously the sugar comes from the limoncello because it's already in the sugar. Oops, there we go. And this just needs to be strained. Oops. What am I doing? I haven't even had a drink yet. Okay, beautiful colour. Look at that. You can do pink grapefruit, regular grapefruit, whatever you fancy. And then I already did the little garnish. It's just the grapefruit peel. I just put that together. I did 3 of them because there's 3 Ginnys, and so this is the 3 Ginnys, the 3 British Ginnys, and there's that one. Kind of cute. So those are my 2. You've already he's nearly finished his cocktail.
Well, it was good.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
So just very quickly, I want to tell you what's coming up. So look at this awesome thing. It's the Buddha's hand. And I did post about it, but and we'll talk about Buddha's hand obviously next week. But it's quite fascinating, and it's a New Year's. Sometimes it's a New Year's gift because it's meant to represent wealth and happiness.
That's the hairdo I want.
Oh, that is the hairdo that I have when I wake up in the mornings. And
oh, the limes in the Philippines are called calamansi.
Oh yeah. So if anybody has any calamansi, so.
Those are cool.
Alice, I know that you have another bush. Oh, so these are Alice's. I came to visit Alice, and we picked some of these from her tree. They're just absolutely stunning. And what I've done with one of them, Alice, is I'm just basically infusing the gin with the Buddha's hand citron. So we'll make a cocktail with that, and then we'll probably make a simple syrup with it as well. So we'll do that next week. And then the other Ginny, she also gifted some quince, and so I'm also infusing gin with the quince. So that will be coming up the week after that. Yeah, we've got all kinds of fun stuff coming up. So I'm very excited about that. Would you like to come and cheers with me, darling?
Yeah.
So we're about to have a New Year's Day traditional dish that Rob is making.
Yeah, so Happy New Year's, everybody. Growing up in the South, and I don't know if Rob's still there, but you'll remember black-eyed peas, you know, the Southern way. It's definitely kind of part of a traditional, like, good luck food. And I know when I was growing up as a kid, we used to, like, I think sometimes I would sneak in the kitchen a couple days in advance to find the biggest spoon. Because the story went that I heard was the bigger the first bite of black-eyed peas you have on New Year's Day you have, the more luck you get. So of course you take the biggest spoon in the kitchen, try to eat the whole thing, and then we do cornbread with that. And I made collard greens and some rice.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that, and I'm excited for these cocktails as well. So cheers to all the Ginnies out there. If there's anybody that knows a Ginny, please make them a cocktail with Ginny's gin, and let me know, because anytime I can meet another Ginny, it's always fun. I think I'm going to drink the 75 first. Are you going to? Do you have any left? Do we even cheers?
Yeah, of course I do. Look, it's half. Okay, it's a quarter left. But it's a small drink.
Cheers, honey.
Cheers.
And cheers to the new year, everybody. And we will see you next week. Cheers. Mm.
I do want to save you a sip to try.
Yummy.
Mm.